everyone, welcome to a 4-step flower tutorial with HANDSUPGALLERY featuring artist Angel Cruz. Step 1. We're going to gather our art supplies. You're going to use tape, masking tape, artist tape, any kind of tape you can find in your household will work. Next, you're going to find your colored pencils. 2 colors works. Any kind of pencils, color pencils, Crayolas, Prismas, any colors that you enjoy that will help draw your outline to your flower. You can use a blue, a red, a purple, any kind of color, your favorite color works. Next, you need a pencil. Number 2 pencils are the most common, and you can possibly find it in your household. Or a drawing pencil also works if you have that available. That one's just lighter lead so that you can have a lighter outline, but any pencil will work for this project today. You will also need a blending stop. You can have an artistic one that you buy at an art store. 2 different ends helps you shade, or you can make one at home, which we'll teach you shortly. Lastly, you need an eraser. Any kind of eraser works. An eraser you find at home, a vending machine that you find the little erasers, or you have a school eraser or artist erasers, such as a gummy one or a mechanical eraser. Any eraser works. Alright, so now let's teach you guys how to make a blending stop, DIY style. Do it your own way. So, you start off first gathering your tape and a sheet of paper. And that's all you're gonna need. Now, grab your paper. First step is fold it in half. Fold it in half, press down, crease. Hot dog style is what we usually call it. Now you take one end and you fold it in to make a triangle on the top. Now that triangle, you can kind of take the paper whichever way is easy for you to hold it. But basically you take the triangle tip as you see in the video and you start bending the tip inward so that you don't have that point no more. And from that you start to roll the paper. See, as we roll the paper, inward, same action all the way until you finish rolling the whole paper all the way. Keep it nice and tight so that you're able to use it. You can make it as pointy as you need it to be. It's gonna be to help you blend. So lastly, you grab a piece of tape, any tape that you need, and you tape the tips down at the end, that last piece of paper, so that it closes off and you have a little funnel. But this is what we're going to use as our blending stop. Now let's clear our area. Now we are ready to start drawing and learning the steps to the flower. This is an example of the flower we're going to draw. Plumeria flower has 1 point in the middle, 5 lines around it, kind of like a spinny top, and you go clockwise, and then we're going to work the different petals. But right now you're able to see the different steps, but we're going to be able to show you how to go through the process of all the steps. You can draw shadows, and we can teach you guys future steps and how to enhance your flower with different shadows and forms. So now we are going to grab our blank piece of paper, and now you should have an area where you're going to draw, where it should be clear, whether you have a clipboard available, a book, or just a plain table where you're going to be able to draw without any creases or any bumps. So just find a flat surface which is most accessible to you. So let's start with the first step. Let's draw a point in the middle of your paper. Grab which color pencil you need, a blue or a red, and from there you start drawing your 5 lines. Spread them out right across from each other. You can draw points at the end of each 5 lines, and now we're going to start to connect them. With that, we'll use a different color. As you see, you can go clockwise, connect each line to another new line, and you keep going all the way around until you connect all the lines and you start to form the petals of the flower. Now you have 5 different petals. Now go ahead and grab another color pencil and draw your shadow line. That shadow line follows the first line that you made, and it'll follow it just closely by, and you follow it to the end of the tip as you saw in the video. Draw the shadow line to all 5 of them. Now that you have your shadows and your 5 petals, you take your pencil and you trace your drawing. Start at the tips, go all the way to the end, draw your shadow line, draw your original lines. That way you have a more darker crease with your drawing now. Your drawing is basically complete now, but we can do a different draft. You can use the back of your paper as an outline, since you already learned how to draw it. Or you can use a blank paper so that you are able to draw a brand new flower. But now you've practiced. You can practice on one paper, or you can continue on the backhand side. Depends on how much material you have available to you. So let's start with our steps again. You start with 1 dot in the middle and you draw 5 lines going out, like a pinwheel. Let's draw a couple of them on our paper. A dot, 5 lines, like a pin. Same way, 5 lines going out. Let's draw different sizes. You can draw one small one big one, a medium-sized flower. All of them starting with 1 point in the middle, 5 lines going out. You can twirl your paper around, whichever is easier for you to draw with. Upside down, turn it around, with whichever angle is needed. So now you have a couple flowers, and now let's start connecting how we learned from the steps before. Go all the way around, overlap your lines, draw them all the way around like a pinwheel. Look at the video to see which way you draw your petals. Clockwise works best, so all the petals look exactly the same. All the flowers are different, of course, since it's nature. You guys could definitely make the size of the flowers different. You go into your flower and it's draw a shadow line like we learned before. You go from the center, go above to the end of the petal, go all the way around. Same way you did the first flower. Keep drawing your shadow line. Make sure all the shadow lines are in there, so it gives you a depth. That's definition. It kind of makes it look a little bit more 3D, so it's not just on the paper itself. Of course, we're going to learn how to do shadows and add color, eventually paint it. But for now, you'll be able to just draw the colors using your pencil. Go all the way around, and now you've finished all of your flowers. Now, once you finish your flowers, now we can learn how to shade. You have to see which way your lighting is coming from. If it's coming from your right hand side, then you're gonna draw a shadow on your left hand side. You use the opposite of what the light is showing you. But we will have a future video on how to see shadows and light references, and just kind of how to do a little bit more detail. Today this would be a simple tutorial on how to draw a flower, but you can definitely create your light source also. If you just, as long as you stick to one side of light source, you can either draw all the shadows on the left hand side, or if you're gonna do it from above, you can get different kinds of perspectives. But for now, as you can see in the example, we just did a little bit of shadow starting from the middle of the flower, and then you take your blending tool and you press against the lead and you bring it upwards into the shadow line. A little bit can come out. It's all part of this flower. It's going to give it texture and color and a little bit of definition, but try to keep your shadow line within the flower that you did draw. You can add more lead with your pencil if you want to have a little bit of darker edges in the middle, and then you can use your blending tool to keep grabbing some of that lead to shade in your flower slowly. This is a little bit more advanced, but it's definitely something that we can start practicing with your flower. So use your blending stop. Right there, you're blending in some of the lead. Bring it into your flower and do it all the way around so that you are able to get all the shadow and colors to your flower. Right now, this is just a pencil drawing. We started off with sketching it with color pencils, but right now, if you feel more comfortable, continue using your pencil. You can do a little bit of color at the end to give it a little bit of depth. With those, you can blend into the shadow line with your blending stop. Continue down. Every petal, you can come into it and give it a shadow line. Start shading it in with the same lead. You don't have to use your pencil all the way. See how a little bit of light area is left? And then you can take some pigment off also with your eraser. That allows you to fix any areas you need. But that's about it on the flower. You can add leaves to it also. That would be something a little bit more advanced also. You kind of go the same method. You start off with one line going to the right, one line going to the left, connected in the center, and then shade one side as I did in the video. Take your blending stop and you blend in the flower leaf so that the leaf also has the same shadow going on as the leaf does. You're able to trace a little bit more of the flower with your pencil. Go on, this would be the third time you're tracing it. Just give it more dimension, makes the shadows pop out more. So trace your flower one more time, go all the way around. You can do all the 5 petals, shadow line, and leaves. But there you have it. This is how you draw a Plumeria flower. You're able to follow these steps. You're going to be able to draw this flower anywhere and with any kind of material. In the next following video, like we said, we're going to be able to show you guys how to do more shadows, or even use different kind of mediums and material to continue drawing the flower. This is a canvas we're going to use in our next class. We're going to teach you guys how to paint it, and of course first drawing it on a canvas. But for now, join us next time in our next art tutorial, and you guys have a good day and continue to stay creative. Have a good one.